Good morning. It's about 5:53 in the morning right now on Wednesday, October 13th, and I have something to report to you. Something I did yesterday, which took a little bit of time and effort, but I was able to successfully finish it, and we'll see what benefits it's had for my body. So I mentioned on a prior cast, a prior episode, that I'd gone through a colonic and that it flushed out a lot of toxins and a lot of bloating I had in my intestinal tract. The woman who runs the place that I went to is a very holistic, I don't know if it's a doctor or nurse, but she's a very holistic person. Likes dealing with home remedies and herbs and natural ways to get rid of anything that's going on with your body versus like medication and stuff like that, which is fine, which is I got no problem with. She'd give me a few tips of different kind of cleanses and flushes I can do in my body, which might help out my goals of weight loss and my goals of just trying to be more of a healthy person. Like I said, I now have two young boys who are 3 and 1, and I need to be around for them for a very long time. And I want to be around for them, and for myself, and for my wife for a very long time. So I decided as I'm doing all this, I will maybe do these cleanses one by one, just in an effort to hopefully have something positive happen for my body. This time around, I did what was a mini cleanse, which was a gallbladder cleanse. And she had a lot of these, almost like flashcards, if you will, of different herbal remedies. Now, here's one I had taken a picture of. Let's probably get washed out in the camera. But this is a mini gallbladder cleanse that she had recommended. You see here, a lot of this is like drinking olive oil and lemon juice sometimes. A lot of herbs are listed there in the middle, but it doesn't really say what to do with those herbs. And then there's this 24-hour cleanse on the bottom, which has some form of Epsom salt and lime juice that you drink every now and again. And then at night, at one point, you take this 1/3 cup virgin olive oil and 2/3 cup of pink grapefruit juice and drink it before you go to sleep. I'm not a fan of grapefruit juice, whether it be pink or not, so I decided not to go that route. But the internet has a lot of interesting things on there, so I did a couple searches and I found something here. This is from the Alternative Medicine Review, Volume 14, Number 3 in 2009. It was a large, like 16-page document that had a lot to say about gallbladders and gallbladder flushes, but they also had things like this of what you might be able to do in a mini period just to get your gallbladder to be cleaned out there. Now, I know there is a relationship in some form between your liver and your gallbladder. And my liver has been diagnosed as being a fatty liver. So something about the connection of the two, I think it was a good idea to maybe go for it. And when I mentioned it to the person at the clinic, she said the same thing. She gave me more exact and medical terms and this, that, and the other, which I unfortunately just don't remember right now. But to make an analogy on this, I had a similar issue. It's hard to say similar, but I had an issue. I used to have one of those Chevy Avalanche trucks, and I love this car. It had the nice folding down back seat, which allowed the bed of the truck to be even longer, and actually allowed me to put huge pieces of, say, sheetrock or plywood into the back and close the tailgate. I love the car. Unfortunately, though, I was never in the habit of washing my car during the winter. So I guess all the salt from the road in the winter and the snow had just rusted out the bottom of the truck. I brought it to the dealership to get looked at, and they said, okay, but for $6,000, we got to repair and overhaul all this kind of stuff. But one of the things that it damaged was the line that went to the transmission. Now, anybody who knows anything about cars knows when the transmission goes, it's very expensive to get a new one. Even if you get a rebuild, it usually still costs at least $4,000. So in my mind, I was like, listen, I could pay the $6,000 now instead of getting a new car or a used car, which would cost me more. But I might have to spend another $4,000 later, and who knows what else after that. So I ended up trading it in and getting a new used car. I got a Ford F-150 now. So in my mind, how the one breakage of the rusting and the problems in the bottom might affect the transmission, I'm saying that my broken liver might affect how it interacts with the gallbladder. So I said, why not? One of the things I've always found beneficial about COVID, living in the world we're in, where everyone's, staying in place, not going out, keeping away from contact with other people. I was fortunate enough to have a work from home office desk job. Unfortunate to have that kind of job because I just kind of sit in this chair all day long every day, so I'm not active whatsoever. But I have that kind of a job, so I can do things like a gallbladder cleanse, and it's not interfering with my day. I don't have to make sure I bring things into the office and do it in front of other people who are looking at me all weird and such. You can do it in the privacy and with your own kind of time and effort. And with my privacy, I'm now making that public. So here we go. What does this entail? So on this issue of Alternative Medicine Review, they talk about a couple different ways you can do a little cleanse at home. So one of which is you fast for 12 hours, and then starting at about 7 p.m., just take 4 tablespoons of olive oil by 1 tablespoon of lemon juice every 15 minutes. And you take this little concoction, and you do this for like 2 hours. It's 8 treatments, 15 minutes each treatment. And that's supposed to get into your body and then flush and cleanse whatever it has to cleanse. Another version they have there, because that's completely fasting all the way until 7 p.m. I could do it, but that sounded like more of a challenge than I wanted to take on. The other method they say is for your whole day, only consume apple juice or vegetable juice, no food at all, until about dinner time. And then when you do that, you're going to take about a tablespoon of olive oil and half a tablespoon of lemon juice every 15 minutes for 2 hours. That seemed a lot more doable in my eyes, and I wanted to make sure I succeeded in whatever I tried to do. So I went that apple juice route. We didn't have any vegetable juice around here, not to mention I don't know how much vegetable juices I'd be willing to even drink. But we had a bunch of these left over from a party we had. If you have kids coming over, you might want to get them a little juice box or what have you. So these little single serving things of apple juice, organic apple juice, I had about 10 or 12 of these yesterday. And I actually separated them out to have 1 per hour. And that was a nice little pace to get things done. I will say these boxes are not very big. It doesn't fill you up too much. And I was very fortunate that I had a few projects to work on in my work job, that the time went by a lot faster than it could have been. So I'd be sitting there working on something, trying to do an analysis, getting schedules and spreadsheets together. All of a sudden look down, wait, it's an hour later, good. Let me reach to my side, grab my juice box, suck this baby down, throw it out. Okay, I got some flavor in my mouth. I got something in my stomach. It's not going to last there very long because it's liquid. Let's move on. And I was able to get through the whole day doing that, 1 every hour. I kept myself busy. I say this time and again. If I just keep myself busy, my mind is not on snacking. And that seems to have been helping me a lot so far. So I did all that, and then came time for nighttime. And I was like, okay, I have measuring spoons for a tablespoon, half tablespoon, thank God. So then I went out and grabbed my extra virgin olive oil and started pouring that into a little container. I got a shot glass to help out too. I poured that into the measuring spoon, dipped it into the shot glass. Now I have my oil ready to go. Grabbed my half tablespoon thing. We had some lemon juice in the fridge. It was not from concentrate. Poured that in there as well. And I put them both into the shot glass. So there's 1 tablespoon of oil, half tablespoon of lemon. And I stirred the thing up a little bit. And I'll tell you what, these things do not stir and mix together very well. So I got it a little cloudy as much as I could. Bam, took a shot. first one surprised me, actually. The flavor was not a bad flavor. It wasn't bad. I'm not saying I'm going to go out and try to do this every night as a, before I have a beer, but it wasn't bad. Although the next 15 minutes I said, let me try to take them separately. So I grabbed a full tablespoon of the olive oil and drank that. Now, I'm Italian. I'm very familiar with taking some bread and dipping it into a plate of olive oil, which might have some roasted garlic in there, or might have some other herbs, and pop it in your mouth. So olive oil has a flavor. It's what I'm used to. It's a good flavor. Again, it's oil. So, I'm not saying, hey, this is fantastic, everyone should be drinking olive oil tonight. So, that was alright. What surprised me was when I drank this by itself. Oh my god, this lemon juice was really freaking tart. And when I drank it, I gave that sour face, and my wife laughed at me. She goes, is it the oil? And I said, no, it was the lemon juice. So I made sure to try to mix those up as much as I could for every other 15 minutes. And then I was done for the day. Now we sat down and started watching a movie that night, and an hour and a half into a movie, I'm craving a snack, my pistachio nuts or a drink on the side, whatever else. But stay the course. I have to do this day honestly. I'll report on it, and I'll have my body do whatever happens. One thing I will say, which my wife actually agrees, is when you're fasting, a lot of other foods that you might smell amazing. We gave our sons fish sticks and french fries for dinner that night. They're young. They can handle anything for this moment. Those fish sticks, which I normally would never try to eat, smelled like the best food you can ever want at a carnival. Just sitting there. And I actually had to help them make sure they eat their food too. And I was sitting in between the two. I had my 3-year-old on one side, my 1-year-old on the other, and they're eating, and I'm smelling it from both sides of the fence. I just had to gut it up and work through it, and I did. They finished their meal, got them ready for bed. It was a good night. But I was also very curious about other things too. So I had told you that I fluctuated between like the mid 263 and 267 for the last week or so. I did that yesterday. Besides just going up and down for the whole week in one day. So that was, before I started everything, 267. That's what I clocked in on. This morning, woke up, did some ablutions, got out there again, bam, 263.5. Now, I don't know if the day before made 267 a worse day than usual, so it's easier to get down to. But just on a sheer numbers perspective, that's 3.5 pounds in one day. Now, when you don't eat for a whole day, that's quite possible. They say it's about, 3,500 calories. If you get a deficit at 3,500 calories, it's about a pound there. Now, I don't believe that I had an excess of 10,000 calories the day before, and by getting rid of that in one day, boom, look what happened. But something happened. And I will accept the results and try to go forward in my mind saying, how much better can I be? Now, the one thing that popped in my mind too, 263.5, I am 1.5 pounds away from my next goal. My next milestone, should I say. And that'll be 20 pounds. This is on the forefront of my mind right now. 1.5. 1.5 should be a cakewalk. And I understand some people struggle, but if you literally make the struggle real and make that your shining beacon in the sky, that can be doable. And the good thing about it is, by making the larger goal of, say, I want to get to 200 pounds, broken up into smaller goals, I can get there better, faster, and more intelligently. So all I got to do is, boom, 1.5, now I'm at 20. Do another 2.1 on top of that, now I'm in the 250s. And just kind of keep going one by one by one by one. Every 5 pounds can be a goal. Every next level of the tens can be a goal. Because I could literally map this out in my head right now, and it seems extremely doable. 262, that's 20 pounds. Another 2.1 pounds, boom, I'm in the 250s. Then 257 is another 5 pounds there. That's 25 right there. I got to do another 5 to get to 30, and so on and so forth. It'll just keep on being like small little hurdles I can get over, instead of saying, oh, I'm trying to lose 30. 30's a lot. But to get to 30, you got to get to 29. To get to 29, you got to get past 25, and so forth and so forth. So, that's what I have for today. I did this gallbladder cleanse, gallbladder flush, whatever you want to call it. I will not know what effect it's actually had on my body. I can only pray it was good. I might try to do some of this intermittent fasting a little bit more often. I know my wife is looking into this as well. I'll have to see what it entails. Maybe it'll be a very good thing. I'll have to put that into my life. Maybe every other day or every 2 days or every 3 days. We'll do some internet research and see what happens. I like the fact I keep saying research. We will look online and try to educate ourselves to see if this might be a good thing. And if something good comes out of it, you'll know about it. So in the meantime, it is Wednesday morning. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see less of you in the future. Bye-bye.